Hey guys, what's going on? I'm sliding through again for another moment to say, hey guys, you are beautiful, you are amazing. Please try not to let anything hold you back. And while I'm on that, I was like, what do I want to say for today as far as an encouraging word? Well, we all need one every single day, probably more than once or twice a day, probably multiple times a day, because we know how our brains can operate sometimes. So I wanted to show you something. Don't mind the cover, but someone gave this to me not too long ago, and for a long time there was nothing inside of it because I never was the type of person to write or journal. I just felt like, oh man, it's a waste of time. Like, it's in my mind already. I'm going to remember. I mean, even that defeats the purpose, right? I know I'm going to remember a lot of things, mostly everything. But I said one day I was watching a YouTube video and he recommended that before we go to sleep, you clear your mind of everything, turn stuff off an hour before you go to bed, and then journal and write 3 things that you want to do professionally and 3 things that you want to do personally. Now this is universal because we're all professionals in some degree or to some degree, and we all have personal goals to some degree. Sometimes we don't realize we have a personal goal because we don't think that the things that we think of are as important or goal oriented. So if you feel like you do not have a goal, then think about the things that you speak into your existence all the time. So I'm just going to flip through. You know, I've written a lot of stuff in here, and I've missed a few days. I've missed a few days of recent because my normal routine hasn't been the same, and I shouldn't rely on my routine. I should stick to the journal and do things personally and professionally every single day. So that's my little tidbit for that for now. So just go to the store, and it's nice too. I mean, it's all squishy and everything. Go to the store and pick up a journal, and I recommend 3 professional things that you want to do, accomplish for that day, and then 3 personal things that you want to do. That's a daily goal. This is your daily goals that I'm challenging you guys to write down and purposefully do. Listen, it's about time that we start investing in ourselves. We invest in everybody else all the time, right? We have no problems spending lots of time, loads of time helping everyone else. But when it comes to us, we rarely ever introduce or produce that much for ourselves. So take this challenge. Anyway, now I'm going to bring you to my book, Quotes That Make You Say Oh, From Instagram to Your Hand. Pick up a copy at BeTheDifferenceLLC.com. I will have a link down below. And I'll also put a link to a cute little journal that you can pick up. Maybe we'll find a similar one as mine, where you can get a more unisex one, a manly one, or a feminine one, whatever you want, but we'll find something. So I'm going to flip through with my left hand and see what we get. This is, yes, let's see what happens. Ooh. Oh, Lord, I keep flipping to this one and I always want to pass it, but I guess I need to read it. It's a beautiful thing to find happiness without needing someone else's help. Is it true what they say? The one you're thinking about is thinking about you too? I'll read it again. It's a beautiful thing to find happiness without needing someone else's help. Is it true what they say? The one you're thinking about is thinking about you too. This turned out to be a 2-pager when I wrote this. But I think it's simple. It's plain and simple. You can do this platonically or romantically. When you start thinking about someone, it's not by chance or by fault. Usually that means that you're both synchronized and you're both thinking about each other. Now, the contents of the thoughts, none of us know except for if we decide to say, but yes, it is true. If you continuously think about a person, more than likely they may be thinking about you too. So yes, just don't take for granted your thoughts, and think about it this way. If you're thinking about someone that much, or if they cross your mind that much, or a situation crosses your mind or bothers you that much, then you need to address it. So let's be men and women and children and teenagers, adults, young adults, or whatever of ourselves, and be proactive. Yes, be proactive. If you think about somebody, pick up the phone and call. They may need you. Write them. They may need to see your words. But at the end of the day, we don't need happiness from another person. But if someone comes to mind, they're thinking about you. You're thinking about them. So just pick up the phone and find out what you guys need. So if you want my book, go to BeTheDifferenceLLC.com. It is going to be there for you. There's a second edition. Well, there's a second book, third edition, and they're both very easy reads, but everything is geared to make you think. Yes, to think. Yes. The more we think about each other, the more we can empower each other. The more we can empower each other means that our world is going to be just moving and flowing super nice and smooth. Yes. Don't forget, I'm on Hello World every single night between 7 and 9. It's a talk show. We talk about everything and anything. I plan on doing more panels, so join me, and we'll see you soon. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day. I hope that is blessed. And if you're thinking about somebody, pick up the phone. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.